ein tolles Bild hier unten. Wir wählen mit den Fähnchen um die Wette auf der Tribüne und auch im Auslauf. Und Sie dürfen gerne noch mal ein bisschen auf die Tube drücken, unseren Nachwuchsathletinnen und Athleten von zahlreichen Vereinen und auch vom VSC Klingenthal zujubeln. Wir stehen uns und 16 Uhr. Geht's los.
1, 2, 3. No. 1-0.
Die Fußballarena mit der Dancing Arena. Was für eine geile Zeit. Schön, dass ihr da seid. Hier ist Klingenthal!
Guck mal, das ist die Welt 1 Bodyguard-Matratze. Uiuiui. Ist die bestgetestete Kaltschaummatratze. Ziemlich gut. Und das Ganze für 199 €.
Nee.
Bam!
Deutschlands meistgekaufte Matratze. Jetzt online bestellen.
Jetzt steinstark Reparaturtermin vereinbaren auf united-autoglas.de.
Sie sind wieder da. Die Kaufland frische Wochen. Jetzt! Wir gehen rein!
Frische Wochen, yeah. Hier bei Kaufland. Kaufland richtig frisch.
Unsere Frische, unser Versprechen. Kaufland, offizieller Ernährungspartner des Deutschen Skiverbandes.
Gesundheit ist nicht nur Glückssache.
Wir wissen, was Urlauber mögen, denn Dubai ist wie du.
Schau ins Land reisen. Erlebe schlaue Wärme, kombiniert mit eigener Solarenergie. Speichere sie und nutze sie maximal effizient. Dank Energy Management. Heizung und Strom. Dann Fenster aus.
dann kann man noch im Gesicht von Alex zuhören. Er schreibt mit 8 Fingern, hat 4 Daumen in der Hand. Also unser flottes Maskottchen 1 Kampfstand umarmen. Das ist toll.
Also das klappt wirklich und vor allem das Wärmen auch etwas. Ne? Also der hat ja auch eine Kuschelbody und da kann man sich mal dran schmiegen. Unser Harry, liebenswert, aber eben nicht sehr hilfreich.
Wir führen euch ran, liebe Gäste, 14 Minuten noch in etwa an den ersten Wertungsdurchgang.
Meters, der mit Abstand weiteste Sprung des und die erste
Naoki Nakamura, 14th place yesterday. Congratulations. How difficult was the fog?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, you know that when after takeoff it's really whiteboard, and then some few seconds we can see that some ground, but it's thinking like how far can I possible to do jumping. It's very difficult to do. Landing, yes, landing.
Is it dangerous?
No, I have some experience. It's no problem.
Okay. Good luck for today's competition, Naoki. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dankeschön.
Good afternoon and welcome to, well, a somewhat gloomy, overcast and misty Klingenthal in the Vogtland of Germany. Welcome to FIS TV. I'm David Goldstrom, and we're looking forward to the second individual big hill competition of the season here in Klingenthal. Another packed arena with some 6,000 looking forward to what we hope will be another high-quality, high-grade competition in the Viessmann-supported world of ski jumping. Well, Klingenthal is right over on the eastern part of Germany, in Saxony. We're almost in the Czech Republic. Famous these days for the manufacture of its musical instruments, violins, accordions, and of course famous for the ski jumping hill. Originally though, it came into being because of its iron ore deposits. But here is this rather modern and advanced looking tower with an excellent warm-up room. And just a reminder, of course, Domen Preutz already triumphant here yesterday. That's 3 in a row for Domen, the world champion, the ski flying world record holder, and very much the man to beat. In fact, to just make that point, the bookmakers, they would only offer odds on to go against Domen Preutz. In other words, their odds were 3 to 5. In other words, you'd have to put on £5 or €5 or $5 to get just 3 back. That's how strong he is. And quite remarkable, the odds offered to some of the other athletes involved in the competition. 13 to 1 for Ryoyu Kobayashi. 13 to 2 for Philipp Raimund, 15 to 2, 7.5 to 1 for Stefan Kraft, 11 to 1 for Jan Hurl, 25 to 1 for Ren Nikaido, 33 to 1 for Andrzej Lanasek. And Domen Preutz, well, he's very much spearheading this excellent start by Slovenia in both the men's and the women's World Cup.
Simon Ammann, second day in Klingenthal today, and it's foggy again. How difficult is it, and do you remember such foggy competitions in your long career?
Yes, I remember very well my first World Cup victory in Oslo, where you could hardly see a jumper by 20 meters distance. It can be tricky, but yesterday was quite okay. I mean, it was sunny on the top. We had quite a good view there. It was more unfortunate for the spectators to see very little, especially in the final. But I was kind of high, so I had time for the flight, and I saw the landing quite early. So yesterday was not really a problem for a ski jumper.
Well, there it is, a little bit misty. The qualification, which finished in the last hour, well, really interesting, particularly the performance of the Norwegian athletes. Marius Lindvig, the Olympic champion, 142.5 meters from gate number 9. Halvor Granerud, 139 meters from the same gate. Johan Andre Forfang, 134. Chris Sundell, 132.5. They didn't completely dominate. Domen Preutz, 137 meters from gate number 8. Manuel Fettner from gate number 8, one gate down, 136.5. But that just tells you the quality of the competition. The wind at the moment, relatively quiet, stronger at the bottom of the hill than it is at the top, where it's a little bit of an updraft at about 0.5 meter per second. And once again, the Vogtland Arena absolutely packed. Some 6,000 in here for today's competition. Just a reminder that, of course, Domen Preutz is the leader of the Viessmann World Cup rankings. He has an advantage of 117 points over his teammate Andrzej Lanasek, winner of the competitions in Falun and Ruka, with Ryoyo Kobayashi 119 points back. Philipp Raimund on the podium yesterday for Germany in 4th place ahead of Daniel Schöffenig, the World Cup champion of last season, who opened up with that rather surprising first victory in Lillehammer. And just behind him, his Austrian teammate Stefan Kraft, back into competition, having just become a dad. And there you can see, not a cold afternoon by any means, but a misty one, bit gloomy. But the atmosphere isn't gloomy. It's a really good, alive atmosphere. So just a reminder of the World Cup standings. And there you get a little indication of the strength of the wind. And these are the athletes who've made it through to the 50 for the first round. And as you absorb some of those, nice to see Ipsioglu of Turkey in. One or two you won't be seeing today, sadly. Andy Urlaub of the United States didn't make the cut. Sakutaro Kobayashi again in trouble, the former Nordic Combiner. Felix Truns of Switzerland. Yevhen Marusiak of Ukraine. And also Andy Bellinger. And Andy Bellinger won't be in Engelberg. And Germany, there are 3 senior athletes, Karl Geiger, Andy Bellinger, Piers Paschke. They're all struggling, to be honest, at the moment, and it's Felix Hoffmann and Philipp Raimund who are flying their flag. Roman Kudelka for the Czech Republic, I'm afraid he didn't make the cut, and neither did Francesco Ceccon. So we're almost set to go for the first of the 2 competition rounds. Sandro Pertile. Looking forward to a really fantastic season, and in particular the Olympics, which is his home territory near Predazzo. But this is wonderful, and it just shows you that this is a great sporting occasion, the world of ski jumping. It's also a great social occasion. And I'm happy to say it's also a sport where fair play is pretty solid. And you might think it's strange that I should make that remark given the scandal of the suit manipulation involving the Norwegians last season. But if you look at the sportsmanship between the competitors, it's very, very healthy. So just a reminder that this is a big hill. The calculation line here in Klingenthal is at 125 meters. The hillside's at 140. And start gate number 11. Now, putting that in perspective, that compares with gates 9 and 8, which we use for qualification. That just tells you that we're in for maybe a treat as we see Fatih Ipsioglu. Delighted to see that he's made the cut, representing Turkey. And in updraft front wind conditions, 3-4 meters short of 120. But just a reminder, the calculation line here is at 125 meters. So that is in fact 8.5 meters worth of distance point deductions, 83.6. Although it's great to see him here, I fear that we won't see him in the second round. Ipchooglu, who has a personal best, which he achieved at Titisee Neustadt in Germany 2 seasons ago. This is Jucheve. Young aspirant Frenchman, yet to achieve a Winter World Cup point. Jules on the 120-meter line there. Next to go, the junior world champion of 2023, Finland's Velho Palasari. 43rd yesterday, so didn't make the final round. A little bit further than Jules Chevet. Not quite at the calculation line, 1.5 meters of deduction. So 57.3 points for distance, having lost 2.7 points in terms of failing to reach the calculation line. And there you can see the front wind deduction there, 9.2 points. That's effectively losing 5 meters. Kilian Payer for Switzerland, now 30. Well, that's the wrong side, I should say, of 120. It would be lovely to see him come back to his World Cup and World Championship best. He's never won one of these competitions. Came close in Russia in 2019 when he was runner-up in Nizhny Tagil. That was the season in which he also got a bronze medal at the World Championships on the Big Hill. Since then, injuries and illness, but Switzerland could really do with him back as a full force. Eric Belshaw for the United States. One of several who hail from the fabulous high-altitude resort of Steamboat Springs. Perhaps better known in the United States for its Nordic Combiners than it is necessarily for its special jumpers, but 121 meters there for Eric. It's just the consistency that Tore Snell is looking for with him at the moment. Eric, who's just 21, got a 8th place in Planica a couple of seasons ago. That's his lifetime best. And there you can see this very favorable front wind. Good pressure under the skis. It's a situation where the athletes can be confident. That's better from Sandro Hauswirth. That is the calculation line surpassed. Bina Nortic will be pleased with that. 129 meters. Now, there will be a significant deduction because of the front wind. Nonetheless, that's encouraging. Finished 32nd in Lillehammer and Falun, and you can see how pleased he is with himself, and rightly so. Maybe a chance of getting into the final round and getting some Winter World Cup points. Next up, Luca Roth of Germany into the competition to take his chance after the dropping of Karl Geiger. Paul Geiger, the last and only German to actually win here in Klingenthal at, I should emphasize, World Cup level, because this is a hill which is very popular, used for not only World Cup, but Continental Cup, as well as Summer Grand Prix competitions. Luca, junior world silver medalist back in 2019 in Lahti, drops into 4th place for the moment, and now Vitaly Kalishchenko, already a special season for him, given that he's twice finished 30th, and those his first ever Winter World Cup points in Ruka, and again last weekend in Viessmann in Poland. That's going to leave him rather short of where he needs to be to get into the final 30, I fear. Sandro Hausfield with 108.4 points. He's the only athlete who's accumulated more than 100 points for distance and style at the moment, which is a threshold of respectability, 100 points. Given the performances in the qualification, where we had so many athletes well into the 130s, plenty to look forward to, and take France to the United States. A single point yesterday for finishing 30th, but that is a pick-me-up. Over 130 meters, and the bar has been raised. Just 20 Tate France. 3 times he finished in 10th place last season. It was really his announcement season. So far in the current campaign, hasn't quite taken off, but who knows, maybe today's the day. 111.7, new leader. And now the first of 2 Kazakhs, and this is Ilya Mizernik. Well, he was into the points yesterday, got 3 points for finishing 28th. And there's nothing too shabby about this. This is okay. 127 meters, and this is encouraging. It's all about him and Daniel Vasiliev, who will follow later, in terms of Kazakh ski jumping. There are older athletes in the team, but these are the current generation who offer the best hope for the Kazakhs. Simon Aman hunting today for a 24th individual World Cup victory. It's not going to happen, but there were signs of better things on the way. 27th yesterday, 4 World Cup points. No fortune in Poland last weekend. He was in the points in Ruka, so somewhat of a roller coaster performance graph at the moment. And the quadruple Olympic champion is out of this. That's a real disappointment. It's also a concern with Engelberg, the next stop on the World Cup tour. And it would have been really nice to see Simi go away and get ready for next weekend with a confidence boost. As it is, it's farewell. Well, the next man also needs a confidence boost. Alex Insam could really do with a good competition result. That's the wrong side of the calculation line by 5 meters, 5.5 to be precise. '20th place in Ruka in Finland a couple of weekends ago, his best of the season so far. He has finished once in the top 10. That was a couple of seasons ago on the smaller normal hill in Raznov in Romania. And Tate France continues to have the early advantage. Now, Tomofumo Naito. Good, very good indeed. Kento Sakoyama on the left there, really loving that. That's one of his most exciting ever flights. 139.5 meters. Now, let's just see how he finishes this off. There are judges who say he got the telemark. There are judges who say he didn't get the telemark. 2 18s, a couple of 16s. Well, maybe the mist got in the way, but that's an impressive performance. Tomofumi Naito, 22nd in Falun on the big hill there. So far, his personal best. Strong front wind for Pavel Vasek. And he's got some extra distance points, over 130. Vasek. This is the man who, in particular, not this past summer, but the summer before, showed up very much in the Summer Grand Prix. He is the new generation, but he's the generation ahead of Kasper Tomasiek, the leading Polish athlete. And sorry for the pause there, that's the disappointment to see the disqualification of Ipsioglu. Incorrect ski length. Well, Vasiliev, that's a terrific effort from him. Over 130 meters. He's the older of the two Kazakhs who lead their charge at the age of 22. 17th yesterday. And that's a new personal individual competition best for him. He was previously 18th in Ruka, that was last season. Now Kevin Bickner in the points yesterday. 21st place. Well, even through the gloom, you could see during the flight phase that he was in trouble, but has managed to salvage 126 meters. And Kevin Bickner, with a deduction of some 13 points for front wind, that's very similar to Naito and Vasiliev. So at the moment, the wind from the front is strong, but it's consistent, which is the best news. Kevin Bickner into 7th place. That at the moment puts him about 14 meters behind Naito of Japan. So already quite a spread, and now Benjamin Östveld. The bigger the hill, the more he enjoys the action. Round the calculation line, I think. Indeed. Östveld, like Kevin Bickner, they both had their best ever results in Villingen last season. Bickner was 10th and Östveld was an excellent 5th. Naito, Vasiliev, Vasek, the 1, 2, 3, and now Maciej Kot. In the points yesterday, 25th place, following the top 15 result he got in Viessmann last weekend. As ever, the Polish fans here providing that fantastic support. And this first competition round just beginning to bubble up nicely. Will it be enough to get into the final round? Not sure. Stefan Kraft, Daniel Schöffenig. This is such an important part, the relationship between the athletes and the fans. And on his way, Slovenia's Rob Oplak. Good. Relatively inexperienced at this level. So into the bonus points territory for distance. Rob, who just missed getting into the top 20 in Falun on both the normal and the big hill, but that was an indication of better things to come. 104 points. Some 11, 12 meters behind Naito, leading with that excellent 139.5 meters. David Kubacki. Will we see him back at his very best? We haven't so far this season. Well, 129.5 meters is encouraging. Quietly focusing, working in real harmony with his coaches on the problems that he's been experiencing, which is the timing, the rhythm, the body position on the in-run. When he gets that right, this is a man who wins at the highest level. Olympic medalist, World Championship champion. Kubacki into 5th place. Yukiya Sato. Well, 5 years since he last won a Winter World Cup. But Japan, is this going to be their day? Second man over 130 meters. Not enough to depose his teammate Naito. However, a bit of encouragement for Yukiya Sato, who was 26th yesterday. That was, to be honest, a little disappointing. Better in Ruka, not so good in Viessmann. He also a little bit up and down, a little bit rock and roll in his performance. Goes into 3rd place at the moment. And that's an interesting adjustment there for Jonas Schuster. Jury decision. And the reason for that decision is the very favourable wind. Probably a bit disappointed that the gate change came at the moment that he was to take his turn. Jonas, who was an absolutely excellent 11th yesterday. He was 10th a couple of seasons ago in Raznov in Romania on the normal hill. That's his highest ever position finish in the World Cup, so he was close to a personal best yesterday. Finland next. Antti Aalto out on the bar. Well, now we're beginning to get an indication of where you need to get to qualify. Naito of Japan, and Vasiliev of Kazakhstan, and Yukiya Saito, or Sato I should say, all through to the final round. Antti Aalto into 8th place. No points yesterday for Antti, outside the top 30. Jason Colby for the USA. Last weekend in Poland, a new personal best, finishing inside the top 20. Right on the margins. It's 4-5 meters short of the calculation line, though. Was really not connected. That was not the Jason Colby we have been seeing. All went awry on the transition. However, Jason Colby is a name to keep in your notebook because he is moving in the right direction generally. Arti Aigro now on his way for Estonia. Off the table. Well, the wind has actually just softened in strength. It's still stronger towards the last 60, 70 meters of the hill in terms of flight. So Naito of Japan, Vasiliev, Sato, Vasek take France now into the final round. And next up, Nico Kitosaho. A really encouraging start to his campaign. Coming in to begin his challenge in the World Cup in Ruka with an excellent 8th place. And 2 15th place finishes last weekend in Poland. Unfortunately, this has not worked. He was outside the points yesterday when he finished 31st. So the performance curve will show a decline rather than an ascent. And this will surely allow David Kubatski, indeed it does, to qualify for the final round. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. I say that because of what we saw in the qualification. Johan Andre Forfang was 134 meters down the hill. The Norwegians in the qualification phase rampant, This is just 130 and a bit. Forfang, who's yet to really hit the heights as far as this season's concerned. 10th in Poland last weekend, the best so far. I remember this man is an Olympic gold and silver medalist. Philip Raymond getting the suit checked out here. In the 8 sections, there's a chip in each one, and each one is checked to make sure that the suit is entirely intact. Piotr Zewa. Oh, he'll be pleased with that. That's 130 meters. He was happy during the qualification phase. Now, is it worth a smile, Piotr? This was pretty well executed. Now, he's round the same sort of distance as Johan Andre Forfang. He's gone into 4th place. A little bit more front wind deduction, but he qualifies. Excellent news for him, for his fans. Next up will be Halvor Granerud, a previous winner here. Granerud, almost 140 meters in the qualification. Granerud, an encouraging 7th yesterday on the hill. That represented a season's best. And this is several meters beyond his teammate Forfang. Just looking carefully. Good telemark, very good. Straight back, good spacing, nice points. 18s, deserved 2nd place. And the difference between Ito, who still leads, and Granerud, just under 2 meters. Camel Stock. Another man who's succeeded here over the years. Well, it's not too bad. Stock, who's achieved 5 top 20s so far this season. One of those just yesterday here. But a lot to do down in 13th place. 9 meters off the lead at the moment, Camel Stock. And these are the men who have qualified. So waiting in the wings, next, so to speak, Antti Aalto, Sandro Hauswirth, Camel Stock. Those are the next 3. There they are.
Dankeschön an Luca Roth und das Team Germany.
Well, this was absolute dynamite. I think this is certainly the best flight I've seen from Tomofumi Naito. And it really underlines the terrific pre-World Cup preparation of the Japanese squad. There's no doubt that Kento Sakayama, the head coach, has really got them together. We've seen good things from Kobayashi, Nakamura, and now Gregor Deschwanden, who's having a tough time of it at the moment. That's a little better. And he will take encouragement for that. Gregor Deschwanden, who's been successful at Continental Cup level recently as part of his preparation for the World Cup. And Deschwanden, who was miserable yesterday, finishing outside the top 30, not making the cut for the final round. And that's a little better. Into third place. And like Simon Amann, he'd be looking for a good confidence boost before next weekend and the competitions in Switzerland on home snow. Now Piers Paschke. Big roar from the crowd. Well, short of 130, but enough to maybe qualify.
128 Meter, 128 meters.
And if he does, that will be an improvement on yesterday when he was yet one of many who actually missed the cut. 11th place at the moment, and a big cheer because that's good enough to qualify for the final round. Marius Lindvik. 142.5 meters from gate 9. That was in the qualification. We're now at gate number 10 for Piers Paschke. Naito, the leader, came out of gate number 11. And you can see that the wind has just gusted up a little bit. So Lindvik out on the cold bar again. This time the green light is on. The wind is still strong. Couldn't tell you what happened off the table, but it's good. The result tells us that the transition was excellent. Mid 130s, 135.5. And the Olympic champions got some decent points. Lindvik, whose performances so far this season have been a little inconsistent. 10th place in Falun, 5 top 20s. But, well, nothing to roar about, but maybe today's the day. Which Timmy Zeitz are we about to see? When he's good, he's very good. And that's pretty solid. Lindvik was good, and that's the same sort of territory. In fact, a little bit further. Timmy Zeitz. 5 individual Winter World Cup successes in his career. Mixture of fortunes in Poland. 1 top 15 and missing out last Sunday. But Timmy Zeitz into the lead. Overtaking Lindvik, overtaking Naito. Sundal for Norway. And he's there as well. Chris Sundal. 132.5 on the trial round, 138.5 when it really, really matters. And one by one, they're just moving up the order here. This is impressive. Great flight position there. The aerodynamics are absolutely first class. The finish is top as well. This should get 18.5s, if not a 19. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a 19 amongst the judges. 2 19s, 130.4, really healthy score. Norway back in the lead. Naoki Nakamura in fine heart and good spirit at the moment. And that will be good enough to qualify. Not quite 130 meters, but I think there's enough in it. Just having a look at Jonas Schuster in 15th place, 126 meters. Nakamura with 128.5, top 10. 9 meters off the lead. Poland will get excited now. It's Kasper Tomasiak. Only 18, that brilliant 5th place in Viessmann in Poland last weekend. A lifetime best. And Tomasiak, top 20 again yesterday. Well, he's not going to headline. Now, is this enough to get through? This is right on the margins. Antti-Aalto waiting in the wings with 126 meters and a deficit of 21.6 points. Aalto with a total of 108.8. And Tomasiak, not enough. So he finds himself in the waiting room. Antti-Aalto into the final round. Bib 52 belongs to Manuel Fettner. Fettner from gate 8 in the trial round, or qualification, 136.5 meters. Very good. Very good. Great reaction there from Andy Wenzel. That's right up there with the longest distance. And in fact, he's equal to Sundal, 138.5. Now, Sundal had a couple of 19s. And Fettner just into second place by 90 centimeters. Manuel Fettner. Could today be the day when he gets his first Winter World Cup success? Valentin Foubert for France. Little by little, step by step, this 23-year-old is really establishing himself in the top flight. Oh, yes. The most exciting Frenchman since that man, Nicolas Desum. 140 meters. Longest distance, longest flight. The power and the timing and the coordination coming off the table, absolutely splendid. 12th yesterday on this hill, and the way he's going, another top 10, well within his grasp. France take the lead. Norway second, Austria third. Now Bulgaria. Well, Vladimir Zagravsky. This has been the brightest start to a World Cup campaign. A new personal best in Ruka when he was 4th and so close to the podium. 9th in Falun, 6th last weekend in Viessmann. Yesterday, just managed to stay in the top 15. Waiting, hoping to qualify. Sandro Hauswirth and Kamil Stock, they're the next two. Should anybody put a foot wrong. The junior world champion for Austria, Stefan Embacher. Well, this young man, who is a member of the Kitzbühel Ski Club, really flying the flag. Second place in Falun, 2nd and 4th actually in Sweden. And this is first really serious attack at the World Cup. Brought into the senior group by Andy Wenzel, and 8th place. Starts the day in 10th place in the World Cup rankings. And now Felix Hoffmann. Rotten day at the office yesterday. 2 World Cup points. He's much better than that. Relief for him, relief for the fans, delight for those who support Felix Hoffmann. On the podium in Lillehammer for the first time in his life. 2 top 10s in Poland last weekend. But as I said, disappointment yesterday, but this was much better. '13th place. Still leaves him a lot of work. Best part of 10 meters off the current leader, Valentin Foubert for France. This is not over yet. Jan Hurl. Well, it might well be over for Jan Hurl, whose season has been more minus than plus. It started with such optimism in Lillehammer when he almost got onto the podium. 14 times he's been a runner-up in individual Winter World Cups. Last weekend in Poland was a real disappointment. 16th and 21st there, and 6th yesterday. But 28th today, he's not going to make the cut. Ren Nikaido to come for Japan. Ren, 11th after the first round yesterday, then moved up to 4th place with an excellent second flight. Oh, yesterday was no fluke. Neither was his runner-up spot in Ruka. Ren Nikaido, 141 meters. Eclipses Valentin Foubert by 1 meter. But this is the best we've seen so far in this first round. Rock steady, great spacing. Got the distance. Now what about the style? They can't deny him, can they? Look at that, 5 marks of 19 or better. Ren Nikaido takes almost a 4-meter lead. Stefan Kraft, runner-up yesterday. Well, I said right at the beginning of today's competition, we've been treated to a ski jumping season where the competition standard has been of the highest order. And it is again today. Stefan Kraft, He's not going to lead at the halfway stage, but he's going to be on the premises. 5th place, 6 meters behind. It is a lot, but in these conditions, 6 meters can be given, it can be lost, it can be won. Ren Nikaido for Japan, leading from Valentin Foubert of France. Chris Sundal of Norway in 3rd place, ahead of Manu Fettner of Austria. Gate 10, Daniel Schöffenig. Surprise victory in Lillehammer. Since then, struggling a little bit, the defending World Cup champion. The dynamic, not quite as strong. Just about keeps it together, 128 meters. That's equal in distance to the meters that Kamil Stock earned. So then it comes down to style and front wind deduction, and Schöffenig is in and Stock must wait. By the way, Switzerland have got Sandro Hausfeld through to the final round. So 4 to go. Philipp Raimund, 3rd yesterday, on the podium for the 4th time. And he's into the final round to their delight. Hails from Oberstdorf. And Oberstdorf, of course, the first stop on the Vierschanzen, the 4 hills. And they might have been thinking, well, Karl Geiger is going to be our man, but the way things are going, it's going to be Philipp Raimund they're going to be cheering. This is very decent. Well, you have to take into account the performance of the likes of Nikaido. 141 meters and 19s. This is 137 and 17s out of 20. And Raimund down in 7th place, 7 meters to find. Now this man, if he gets it right, he's a proven winner on this hill. ...142 meters, a meter beyond Ren Nikaido. Nikaido had 5.19s, and Ryoyo Kobayashi 4 marks of 19. Wind deduction, the same as his teammate Nikaido, about 10 points. Ryoyo Kobayashi, 4 victories on this hill in various competitions prior to today, second only to the great Gregor Schlierenzauer, who was 5 times a winner on this hill, and Japan are 1 and 2, Foubert is 3rd. Now the 2 Slovenians, the 2 who are 1st and 2nd in the World Cup rankings. Andrzej Lanasek slumped to 16th here yesterday. Well, that doesn't threaten. The rhythm, the timing, the position on the in-run, it's just disappeared a little bit. Lanasek, 10 times a World Cup winner individually. ...128.5 meters. And he qualifies in 17th place, but that's about 14 meters off the pace, and still Kamil Stock waiting, and there's only 1 more to go. And it's the odds-on favorite is the world champion, the man who's won the last 3 World Cups, the ski flying world record holder in front wind conditions, Domen Preutz. really content with himself at the moment. And that just shows that he's human. Domen Preutz around 140, 141 meters, the same as Ren Nikaido. However, less front wind deduction than the likes of Ryoyo Kobayashi or Ren Nikaido. That will earn him an extra meter and a half in terms of distance. And he's first by 10 centimeters ahead of Ryoyo Kobayashi, with Ren Nikaido in third place. The first three, less than a meter and a half between them. Valentin Foubert in fourth, 5 meters back, just ahead of Chris Sundal. And this, the final order for the situation at the end of the first half of the competition. And you just cannot deny Domen Preutz at the moment. And sadly, Kamil Stock ends up in 31st place. Sandro Hausfield, the last to qualify. So no place in the final round for Kamil Stock or any of these guys. Kasper Tomasiak, a disappointment for him today. And the Polish fans, they lose also Maciej Kot. Jason Colby, not able to follow up today as he did yesterday. And the top three, 2 for Japan, 1 for Slovenia. Ten past the hour for the start of the final round. And a really, really good first round. This is Domen at the top of his game. Really in tune with the hill. Hills are similar, but they're also different. And every athlete who comes here has to adjust for the particular circumstance of the in-run of the table and the length of the table. And at the moment, few, if any, are doing it as well as that man. So, time for us to just take a pause. The boys will get ready for the final round. We'll have an opportunity to check the video to see where they might improve. But a fantastic first round. Domen Preutz at 141 meters. Ryoyo Kobayashi at 142. Ren Nikaido at 141. Valentin Foubert at 140 meters. And we're only at half term, halfway. So back for the second round, just a few minutes before the scheduled start time. And you can see that's 11 minutes past the hour.
Ihr konntet eine QR-Code scannen, ihr wurdet gefragt, was gut ist in der Arena, was nicht so gut ist, was ihr gerne euch für die nächsten Weltcup-Veranstaltungen wünscht. Und wir haben 3 Gewinner ermittelt. Ein 20 € Verzehrcoupon geht an die Nummer 400. 2 VIP-Tickets für das nächste Weltcup-Event gewinnt die Nummer 346 und 2 Wochenendtickets für das nächste Weltcup-Event gehen an die 453. Also ihr die entsprechenden Punktscheine und dann kann der nächste Weltcup-Wettbewerb hier in der Sparkasse Vogtland Arena kommen. Dann seid ihr mit dabei und habt
It's the house telling you to close your eyes. Some days I can't even trust myself. It's killing me to see you this way. 'Cause though the truth may vary, this shit will carry on. What is it to show? Gone away, I watched you disappear. All this life is a ghost of you. Now we're torn apart, there's nothing we can do. Just let me go and leave the cancer. Now wait for me, please hang around. I'll see you when I wanna see. Don't listen to a word I say. The screams all sound the same. Though the truth may vary, this shit will carry on. What we show. Don't listen to a word I say. The screams all sound the same. Though the truth may vary, this shit will carry on. What we say to show. Though the truth may vary, this shit will carry on. What we say to show. Though the truth may vary, this shit will carry on. What we say to show.
Es sind nur noch 11 Minuten, liebe Gäste. Dann heißt es hier bei uns Finale. Oh, Finale.
Es ist sensationell, wie ihr mitmacht. Ja, wir sind bereit.
Auf jeden Fall. Wir rocken uns ein auf die 30 besten Skispringer.
Das große Finale zum Abschluss des Weltcups in der Sparkasse Vogtland Arena.
Wahrscheinlich war wieder mal blau. Vielleicht Hobby, was kommt, vielleicht Hobby Geist. Die weiß es doch niemand genau. Er redet ja oft gern im Rätsel. Und hier hat wieder nach ihm Zug. Dann häng ich drin noch durcheinander. Dann spiel mal Hard bei verrückt. Jetzt ist es schon über Wochen her. Ich hab das nicht ohne im Haus. Jetzt muss ich immer, und wenn er sich meldet, sag ich zu ihm, hallo Klaus. Ich will nur zurück zu dir, ich will nur zurück zu dir. Kannst du mir noch einmal verzeihen? Ich hab früh viel zu bereuen. Mir ist klar, ich war allein. Ich will nur zurück zu dir, ich will nur zurück zu dir, ich will nur zurück zu dir. Mir ist klar, ich war allein. Ich will nur zurück zu dir. So komm in den Leben, es gibt mal keine Ruhe. Ich hab das nicht auf und nicht noch. Hat noch komm ich durch in den Nacht wie gewonnen. Vor lauter Heißen meine Augen zu. So jetzt reiß ich die Zange, pfeif auf den Stolz. Jetzt ruf ihn immer in mein Schmerz. Der ruft sich alle ab, der heult ja kein Herz. Aber ich bin halt nicht aus Holz. Mir zittern die Hände, als ich die Nummer an. Hoffentlich ist er daheim. Ich sag hallo Klaus, ich bin seine Maus. Da häng ich immer die Zeit.
Und alle singen mit. Ich will nur zurück zu dir.
Wir wollen rein ins Finale, zurück ins Finale. Oben auf der Wiederwand läuft der Countdown. Das heißt, so langsam aber sicher wird's ernst für unsere 30 weltbesten Skispringer.
Klingenthal, seid ihr bereit? Zicke, zucke, zicke, zucke.
Wir machen euch fit für das Finale.
Mit unserem Schanzenlied, zieh den Sprung ins Tal.
Springer kommt und Schanze frei. Und wir sind alle mit dabei. Wenn wieder einer ganz weit fliegt, dann singt man hier das Schanzenlied. Zieh den Sprung ins Tal. Wir sehen den Radius ganz genial. Ja, und es klingt phänomenal. In der Vogtland Arena im schönen Klingenthal.
Noch 30 Mal mitspielen.
Was ist denn dann?
Finalisten hier im letzten Durchgang. Und darauf freuen wir uns, darauf freut ihr euch. Und da fiebern wir darauf hin.
Jetzt nochmal ein gemeinsames lautes Ziel auf unser Zeichen. 3,
4
und zieh!
Ihr seid fit.
Finale in Klingenthal, da sind wir dabei!
Schanze wird eingeflogen. Unsere Vorspringer sind unterwegs und sorgen dafür, dass so langsam und sicher das Kribbeln an den Fans einsetzt.
Wir sind froh, dass unsere Athleten dabei sind, aber wir sind ganz besonders froh, dass ihr dabei seid. Jetzt geht's landlos mit dem Finale. Finale.
Welcome once again to Klingenthal. Welcome to FIS TV on behalf of the FIS TV team. Delighted to have your company, and we get ready now for this final chapter of the second individual competition here in Klingenthal. These the 30 who will go in reverse order, some 18 meters separating the top 30, 15 meters the top 15, and the top 10 separated by about 8 meters, a little bit more than that. But this is going to be truly competitive. It's been a fantastic start to the new Viessmann supported World Cup of ski jumping. The quality of performance by the athletes has been of the highest order. And there's a man who really is an example to everyone, Stefan Kraft. Back into competition, having missed out the events in Poland to be at home with his lovely lady Marisa for the birth of their first child, a daughter. The fans have been terrific. They were great here yesterday, and the Vogtland Arena are absolutely packed. Some 6,000, or in fact, I was going to say 6,000 there. We have exactly the right number, 5,978. I don't know who exactly did the counting. So if you happen to be just joining us for this final round, just a quick reminder, we're in the Vogtland, we're close to the Czech border. We're on the big hill here in Klingenthal, which is a hill that's used for not only World Cup, but for Continental Cup as well as Summer Grand Prix. The calculation line at 125 meters, the line by which points for distance are calculated. The hill size 140. The wind condition at the moment, still predominantly a updraft front wind in all of the 8 measurement sectors. And here we go. Sit back and enjoy this with FIS TV. Sandro Hauswirth representing Switzerland. First Winter World Cup points guaranteed. Going first of the 30 who qualified. So guaranteed at least 1 point. And that's really encouraging. Bine Orcic, the man who has taken over this season from Rune Velter to coach for the season, will be delighted. Simon Armand not making the cut, the quadruple Olympic champion. Felix Trunz also out of the competition, but well done to Sandro Hauswirth. 129 meters the first time, 125 up to the calculation line. Decent points. 206.7, well clear of the threshold of respectability. Simon Armand there to pat him on the back, and rightly so. Well done to Sandro Hauswirth. Anti-Alto. Finland maintains his position, much better second flight. The transition of the timing was so much better. Out of gate number 10. And this is further than the Swiss athlete. Personal best, by the way, for Sandro Hauswirth. It doesn't matter where he finishes up. He's inside the top 30 for the first time. Anti-Alto. No points yesterday, but maybe 1 or 2 today. Next up will be Jonas Schuster. Schuster very similar to Antti Aalto in distance. There's literally very little between these early starters here, half a meter if that, and the next man is also very close, Daniel Schöffenig. Uncharacteristically for him, starting in 27th place. Has the ability, though, to throw the gauntlet down. A little bit more encouraging there, but again, round the same sort of distance. So Jonas Schuster went into the lead ahead of Aalto. This is very similar. Schöffenig's advantage over Schuster is minuscule from the first round. And he's taken a lead of just about a meter. Piers Paschke from a long way back. Well, a little bit of a groan from the crowd. They really do take to this man, and rightly so. He's a man who has worked really, really hard. I used to refer to him as a journeyman with the modest results he was getting. But then he really picked himself up to get those 6 victories. And finds himself at the moment down in 4th place. Next up will be Dawid Kubacki for Poland. Well, it's not been such a good day for the Polish boys. Kamil Stok missing the cut, Piotr Żeła, Tomasiak, all down on the performances we know they can deliver. And Dawid Kubacki still some way off the sort of performance that over the years have earned him, 11 individual victories in Winter World Cups. Stefan Kraft, one of the sport's most remarkable athletes. More of Kraft when we come to his turn, but Gregor Deschwanden now. Miserable yesterday, much better today. Needs 2 out of 2. And that isn't far enough. It's over the calculation line. But he's given meters back to Daniel Schöffenig. And the Swiss #1 at the moment, on the eve of going to Engelberg, where we are next weekend. Just not happening for him at the moment. Gregor Deschwanden, who has been on the podium here before. 3rd here in 2023. Only 4th at the moment, and now take France. Well, all the way through the flight phase there, he was struggling, and he's dropped down like a stone. 110.5 meters. Take France. At the moment, this is not the Take France we started to get used to last season. Well, he was 30th yesterday, and it could be that he's going to end up in exactly the same position today. Well, Paweł Wasek represented the last Polish opportunity, and nothing particularly special for Paweł. And at the moment, Daniel Schöffenig just improving his position, place by place, also moving up the table. Jonas Schuster, the two Austrians, Wasek into third place. Next up will be Yukiya Saito for Japan. Now, Sato, over 130 meters the first flight. Wind still very helpful. Well, it's really interesting. Just, I think, yeah, going early there, Sato. And it chopped the speed off. So 10 have taken their turn, 20 to come. But Daniel Schöffenig, the defending World Cup champion for Austria, leads the way. But some way to go. And the next group of 10 athletes include the likes of Naoki Nakamura, Piotr Jewa, Stefan Embacher, Halvor Granerud, Tofufumi Naito. But this is the man who leads at the moment. So Daniel Schöffenig, who started in 27th place, now no worse than 21st, and hoping that it can at least get into the top 20. And Nakamura, Naoki Nakamura, the next man to challenge. Challenging Daniel Schöffenig with a 2-meter advantage over Daniel Schöffenig from the first round. Naoki, fairly bright start to the season. Well, the green line tells you where he needed to get to hold on to the lead or the advantage at the moment. Nakamura. For top 15 results, and denies Schöffenig by 70 centimeters. So needed all that advantage from the first round to stay ahead. And a big cheer for Felix Hoffmann. Just a couple of points yesterday. This is slightly better. And he takes the lead. 28-year-old Felix Hoffmann. 134 meters. And this will take the advantage back from Nakamura. Good transition. Nice and stable throughout the flight phase, accelerating, in control on landing. And the mark should be in that 18 range. Unfortunately, not enough points in the first round to really make him super competitive, but at least holding his ranking position. And Andrzej Lanasek now, World Cup #2. Over 100 points behind his teammate, Domen Preuts. A disappointing 16th here yesterday. And frustrated again. The body language might express that frustration as well. Andrzej in Poland, after those victories in Falun and Ruka, only 4th and 8th on the big hill in Viessmann last weekend. But this has been even more disappointing. By contrast, Piotr Żeła, 130.5 meters in the first round. Can he overtake Felix Hoffmann? Well, the green line tells the story. Sadly, the answer is no. He's just the wrong side of 130 meters. Piotr, that's a good result in Viessmann, his home hill, 7th last weekend, last Sunday. A real boost yesterday. Well, top 20, and that's where he is again today. Felix Hoffmann leading the table from Nakamura, Schöffenig, down to 3rd place at the moment. Daniel Vassiliev to take on the likes of Felix Hoffmann now, looking for a personal best finish in terms of position. That's a really good effort from Daniel Vassiliev. $127.5. And Kazakhstan, it's just great to see one of their men really beginning to make a name for themselves. Daniel, 22 years of age, 17th yesterday. Vassiliev in the top 10 at the moment. And now Zagravsky. Can he raise his game, the Bulgarian? That is 130 meters. Hoffmann had 134. Zagravsky, though, not that far ahead of Hoffmann. Only 3 points separating them, and that's only 1.5 meters, so it still favors Felix Hoffmann, and Zagravsky into 2nd place misses out by just under 2 meters. Things could be about to change now. Johan Andre Forfang to take on Felix Hoffmann. A good 2.5 meters his advantage. 134 meters the target. And he's there. surely he's there. Just having a look at the front wind deduction because it's relevant. Forfang with his advantage over Felix Hoffmann. He'll need all of that to hold him off, and he hasn't done it. 40 centimeters short. Felix Hoffmann moving up the table. Nice piece of sportsmanship there. Stefan Embacher. Similar opportunity to Johan Andre Forfang. And he clearly is the new leader. Started the day in 10th place in the World Cup rankings. 19th yesterday, but this is arguably better. ...136 meters. Good execution, very tidy. Points, solid. 242.8, takes a 4-meter lead over Felix Hoffmann. Forfang drops to third and Zagrawski off the podium. Now Granerud, an encouraging 7th yesterday. Put 2 flights together, can he do exactly the same now? And that's encouraging for his fans. The 2-time overall World Cup champion, 4 Hills champion. The man who missed the last Olympics through illness at 138 meters. Embacher was good, this is better. Norway have the advantage, 11 to go. Much delight in the Norwegian camp. They've been good today. And they still have the likes of Marius Lindvig to come and Chris Sundal. Now, Tomofumi Naito. What a brilliant first flight. The timing off the table was exquisite. 139.5 meters. Could he match that? Not quite, but it's very respectable. 30 years of age. Falun finished 22nd on the large hill there. Before today, that was his best ever result. Now, he's about to get a new personal best. Into the lead, ahead of Granerud with only 10 to come. Can't be worse than 11th, and that is the best day of his ski jumping life. So just the top 10 to come now. Norway, Germany, Slovenia, Austria, France, Japan, all involved as you see the state of play. And when we resume momentarily, it'll be Marius Lindvig, the Olympic champion, to take on Naito. Well, Kento Sakuama, the head coach for Japan, he's really got an effective squad together. But these are the 10 who prevailed in the first round. The Olympic champions will be followed by the man who was on the podium in third yesterday, Philipp Raimund, the world champion of 23, Timmy Zeitz, Stefan Kraft, who came back to the podium yesterday. Second place, Manuel Fettner, Olympic team gold medalist. Chris Sundal, looking for his first World Cup success. Valentin Foubert looking to improve on 5th, his best ever. Ren Nakaido, runner-up already this season. Ryoyo Kobayashi, the second most successful athlete ever on this hill. And Domen Preutz, who has won the last 3 individual World Cups. Well, this is a story yet to unfold. So it'll be Marius Lindvig to take on Tomofumi Naito. The difference between the two men, about 0.5 of a point, so we're talking 25 centimeters for the Olympic champion. Marius, who's yet to consistently find his very best form. And Naito is in the top 10 for the first time. The wind just changing a little bit at the moment, beginning to turn, just to soften a little bit in strength. That's not to make excuses for anybody. That was a miss by Marius Lindvig, just underlining the lack of consistency. And now everybody gets excited. Philipp Raimund for Germany, their last opportunity to see someone get onto the podium. But that's exactly what he managed to do yesterday. 137 meters, over 133 to take the lead, but more than that, to challenge. And that's short of 130 meters. So Philipp Raimund, third in Falun, second and third in Viessmann. Not today, I'm afraid. However, will still be very solidly in the top group of world-class ski jumpers. 4th place at the moment. Naito up, Granerud up, Mbacher all moving up a place. Ryoyo Kobayashi getting ready. Timmy Zeitz now. Is this a day for this talented Slovenian? Well, that's low 120s. Well, this is really interesting. We saw one Japanese athlete, Ren Nakaido, from yesterday's competition, rise from 11th to 4th. And at the moment, his teammate, Tomofumi Naito, is on a similar pathway. And Naito, Granerud, and Mbacher all moving up. Raimund, Hoffman, Forfang, Zagrafsky, Timmy Zeitz, all dropping down. Things could be about to change now. Stefan Kraft, runner-up here yesterday. Kraft looking for his 47th individual World Cup victory. Well, that's the wrong side of 130 meters. Andy Wenzel, disappointed for him, but just looking at the front wind deduction, less, that will help slightly, plus his advantage from the first round over the likes of Naito. And it's significant advantage, but 5th place. Now, Manuel Fettner. Excellent first flight. Really good in the trial round. Can he make it 3 out of 3 and really challenge? No, and even he drops in short of 130. And just at the moment, things much more difficult. The wind has dropped to a strength which is lower than half a meter per second. It's still an updraft. But the deduction for Fettner, 4.6 points. Just to illustrate the difference, Granerud, 11.7 point deduction. Embacher, 12 points. Although, to be fair, Naito only 7.2 points front wind deduction. So the next man up is Chris Sundal. Sundal with an advantage over Naito of some 3 meters. Good effort. Now, he's going to need all of those 3 meters to measure up. Naito, 136 meters. This is 3 meters short. However, this might just be good enough to put Chris Sundal into 1st place. Sundal, steady 8th yesterday, 4 times on a World Cup podium. And for me, Sundal enough to lead, and he does, by 30 centimeters. Chris Sundal with just 4 to come. 1 for France, 2 for Japan, 1 for Slovenia. So to take on Chris Sundal, Valentin Foubert for France. Never better than 5th. And he's done it. Valentin Foubert into the lead. Nicolas Dessum, the only Frenchman ever to win a Winter World Cup. That was in Sapporo in the 90s. And this is Foubert underlining the fantastic improvement. 5th in Rucker, 10th in Viessmann, 12th yesterday. The consistency's there, the confidence is there, the shape, the feeling, the adaptation to the hill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks of 18 or better. 257.4 by over 2.5 meters. He goes into the lead. Might it be his first podium? 2 from Japan to come. Ren Nikaido. 3 meter advantage over Foubert. Up from 11th to 4th yesterday. And that is very good indeed. It's not as far as Foubert. However, you have to factor in the advantage. The front wind deduction is less. The style marks, I can't imagine they'll be too different. I think Nikaido is on the podium for the 2nd time in his life. Ren Nikaido on the podium in Rucker in 2nd place, 135 meters. And I think that's just about enough points when you add together his advantage from the 1st round to what he's just earned in this 2nd flight to keep him ahead of the Frenchman. It will be tight. 257.4. Better than that to take the lead. 262.1. And Japan now on the podium with 2 to go. And it is Japan versus Japan now. Ryoyo Kobayashi with a meter advantage over his teammate from the first half of the competition. Oh, Kobe's close, but not good enough. That will not be enough to lead, and it will not be enough to take it away from Ren Nakaido. Is it enough to take it away from Poubert? If Ryoyo Kobayashi is third, Poubert is definitely second. Ren Nakaido definitely maintains his advantage. Oh, and Kobayashi denied by 60 centimeters. Poubert drops to third. And the man who remains is the man who has become dominant in the World Cup. Domen Preutz, who started his World Cup career here a decade ago, the world champion, the ski flying world record holder, the man who's won the last 3 individual World Cups, representing Slovenia, Domen Preutz is a winner again. Robert Hagote, the head coach, gets the congratulations. That's the 4th in a row. 140.5 the distance. Ren Nakaido will go down to second. Ryoyo Kobayashi will drop to third. Valentin Poubert will get a personal best, but will be frustrated to find himself in 4th place, ahead of Chris Sundal, who finishes in the top 5, and Tomofumi Naito up to 6th place, a lifetime best for him. And the Japanese today with 3 athletes in the top 10. Domen Preutz has done it 4 in a row. The double in Viessmann last weekend, and the double here. So congratulations to Domen Preutz and to Nakaido and to Ryoyo Kobayashi. Poubert personal best. Chris Sundal in 5th place. Well, he has had 4 World Cup podiums, but 8th yesterday, 5th today, definitely going in the right direction. Halvor Granerud again, encouraging pick-me-up. Stefan Kraft disappointing down in 11th place. Marius Lindvig unable to follow up from his first round. And indeed, Tate France, like yesterday, getting 1 World Cup point. So momentarily, the top 3 will be presented, then the technical equipment checks will take place just to make sure that everything's legal. Incidentally, Fatih Ipcioglu received a 2nd yellow card. Now, under the new regulations, this is to be confirmed, but it may well be that 2 yellows equal a red for him, and that means that he will not be able to compete in Engelberg next weekend. That'll be really disappointing because he struggled to qualify, and today he did qualify, only to find himself getting yellow cards and being disqualified. So that's a really disappointing outcome. Disqualified for the incorrect length of his skis. That to be confirmed. At the moment, that's unofficial. Well, we should get a few words from Domen Preutz momentarily. Yesterday was only the 3rd Slovenian to win 3 consecutive World Cup events.
Was für ein schönes Skisprungwochenende dank dieser tollen Leistungen und dieser Menschen hier auf Platz 3 heute für das Team Japan für Ryoyo Kobayashi.
So, Ryoyo Kobayashi in 3rd place. For the 2nd time this season, Red Nikaido equaling his personal best. 2nd in Ruka, now 2nd here in Klingenthal. And Deadly Domen. Victory number 13. But 4 in a row. And building up an even bigger advantage in the World Cup, even though it's early days. We're barely 1/3 away through the season, but now he's 159 points ahead of Ryoyo Kobayashi, who's moved up into 2nd place. Andrzej Lanasek of Slovenia drops to 3rd. Filip Raimund in 4th. Ren Nikaido up to 5th place ahead of Daniel Schöffenig. Stefan Kraft in 7th ahead of Jan Hurl. And then Stefan Embacher in the top 10. Felix Hoffmann equal with him in 9th place. And Vladimir Zagravsky in 11th. What a weekend for Domen Preutz. He really dialed in and tuned into the hill. And this is what we love to see. And it's a characteristic of the sport. The sportsmanship amongst the competitors.
Domen Preutz, another win. It was the 1st one in a row. Tell us about this today.
Yeah, actually, I was really nervous today on the top because I know my legs are quite stiff from yesterday, and I didn't know how I will perform. I didn't feel my best, but I still get those feelings. My jumps are a bit stiff, but all really good. And I'm super happy that I managed to score 2 good jumps in the competition, climbing up slowly from the quali. And yeah, super happy for another win in Klingenthal. And I want to keep it going for as long as possible.
I mean, Ren and Ryoyo were so strong, and your shape is still so good that with problems you can still beat them.
I think each one of us have its own problems, but yeah, I managed to do 2 really good jumps, technically really good, only a bit stiff, when you're a bit tired from all the things going on, but otherwise really good weekend for me.
Short view to Engelberg. Do you like the Engelberg hill?
I have really nice memories from there. Yeah, I remember my first podium was from Engelberg, me, Kasai, and Peter, of course. And I saw today Kasai is still in shape, jumping good in Ruka, and yeah, I'm super happy for that old man. I hope he doesn't bother if I say like that, but he's an amazing guy with 53 years of age, still jumping, going down the hill. Really amazing.
Thank you very much, Domen. Congratulations once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Domen Preelst referring to 53-year-old Noriaki Kasai, top 15 in the Continental Cup earlier today in Ruka. And quite remarkable performance, well, by both of them, really. Ryoyo Kobayashi is just really knocking on the door. I thought this might be his weekend, but this is a man to be respected, and competitors will know that he will be a real contender for the Vierschanzen, the Four Hills. Ren Nikaido, well, this is consistent improvement now. 2 second-place finishes. And yesterday, moving up from 11th to 4th, but today, solidly in the competition right from the get-go. Domen Preelst, though, fantastic power and timing and coordination. And then just managing to get absolutely everything out of the flight. And making sure on the touchdown, looking gentle, looking soft, but beautifully timed. Robert Hagota, job done. But even he showing some nervousness. So a few minutes as we see the World Cup standings for the technical checks to be carried out. But as I said, a long way to go. We're barely 1/3 of the way through the competitions. There are 30 individual competitions. We lost one, of course, but that should be replaced. That was the Ruka competition. That should be replaced with an extra event in Lahti in the spring. So, all being well, there will be still 30 individual competitions in the Viessmann-supported World Cup of ski jumping. What Domen Preelst is doing does not happen all the time, which is how you can understand Robert Hagota, and also Domen Preelst when Domen says, I hope I can keep this going, because it is a purple patch and you never know. And this sport is extraordinary in the sense that we've seen it over the years, how athletes can be in absolute top form. We've seen it with Andrzej Lanasek, and suddenly it's like a light switch going out, and suddenly you lose your position on the in-run or your rhythm, something that just throws you off and you suddenly lose your way. And then it's the struggle to get back to where you were. Well, where we are is Klingenthal, and there Engelberg, the next stop on the tour. And if any of you fancy coming to Engelberg, you'd be extremely welcome. It's a very straightforward place to get to. Fly to Zurich, get off the plane, go down to the train station, take the train to Lucerne, get off at Lucerne, cross the platform, literally cross the platform, take the mountain railway up to Engelberg, come out of the railway station, turn to your right, walk 200 meters, and you're at the hill. It's really one of the easiest places to get to. So the ceremony coming up, hopefully nothing untoward between now and then. Matthias Haffele, in charge of the equipment examination, will be looking at skis and suits and every aspect of the 3 men who occupy the podium positions, just to make sure that everything is as it should be.
Drücken wir natürlich alle die Daumen. Dankeschön, Gerd, und damit wieder hoch zu euch, Jan und Bernd. Ich glaube, es geht gleich los.
Ihr fiebern der Siegerehrung in der Tat entgegen, aber wir freuen uns natürlich auch, wenn von hinter den Kulissen sozusagen aus dem berufenen Mund von Gerd Simon nochmal ein Dankeschön kommt an dieses Publikum. Und das geben wir gerne noch einmal lautstark an Sie weiter. Vielen, vielen Dank!
hier macht den Weltcup zu gehen. Heute ist ein unvergessliches Erlebnis. Ich war eben mal gerade im Publikum unterwegs und da gibt es auf die Frage, was denn das Besondere ist. Man hört immer wieder die Stimmung, die Atmosphäre, das Flair. Also die Vogtland Arena lebt von ihren Fans und genau deswegen sind auch wir so gerne hier, weil es mit euch einfach riesen Spaß macht. Und da geht es uns wahrscheinlich genau wie den Springern. Mit Sicherheit. So, wir warten noch auf das offizielle Go für unsere große Siegerehrung, aber selbst dann, wenn die Pokale verteilt und die Blumen übergeben sind, gibt es hier in der Sparkasse Vogtland Arena noch ein großes Highlight und dafür war es des Wortes zum Abschluss.
Es wird in etwa so ablaufen, nur dass Sie sich darauf einstellen können. Die Siegerehrung ist durch, es werden noch ein paar Fotos geschossen, es gibt noch das ein oder andere Interview und dann fahren wir allmählich das Licht schon runter, also behalten Sie Ihr Plätzchen bei, Sie stehen genau richtig und dann macht es bumm, knallen und leuchtet.
Ja, genau, dann gucken Sie einfach hoch Richtung Anlaufturm, also der befindet sich da oben, das wollen wir Ihnen nochmal sagen. Und die oberen Flutlichtmasten werden dann ausgeschaltet und das ideale Flair für unser großes Abschluss, unser Weltcup-Abschlussfeuerwerk zu geben. Ja, diese Siegerehrung ist momentan eine Mission Impossible.
Well, it's been quite some visit to Klingenthal for the Preutz fans and for the Preutz family. Nika Preutz coming back to winning ways yesterday. Still behind Nozomi Maruyama in the Women's World Cup, but a fantastic fight between those two on Friday with just a point between them, and then Nika getting revenge over Nozomi, but full respect between the two of those talented female ski jumpers. And then Domen Preutz dominant this weekend here in Klingenthal as he was in Viessmann in Poland last weekend, enhancing his position in the World Cup and continues to be the proud owner of the Viessmann Golden Bib. I have to say, a really fantastic performance by the Japanese boys, and congratulations to Kento Sakoyama. Ren Nikaido in second, Ryoyo Kobayashi in third place, to Tomofumi Naito in 6th place, a lifetime best, 3 Japanese athletes in the top 10. Nakamura in 17th place. What that tells you is that they have a really good squad and a really good team. And if you look ahead to the Olympic Games, they could well be challenging for team honours. When you also consider the mixed team events with the likes of Nozomi Maruyama going as strongly as she is now, they could also be contenders for the medals in that particular discipline as well.
Der Herren an diesem dritten Advent in Klingenthal. Wir kommen zur Siegerehrung.
Die Siegerehrung nehmen vor Sebastian Hecht, Staatssekretär im Ministerium für Finanzen des Freistaates Sachsen. Thomas Schmidt, Staatsminister AD des Freistaates Sachsen.
Well, just introducing the distinguished VIPs to make the various presentations, mementos.
3 für das japanische Team, für Ryoyo Kobayashi.
So Ryoyo Kobayashi already won victory this season, and you sense that more success isn't that far away, even though Doman Preutz is ruling the roost.
In Klingenthal geht ebenfalls nach Japan an Rin Nikaido.
Runner-up for the 2nd time in his life at the age of only 24. But still to realise that dream of winning a World Cup.
An den Dominator aus Slowenien, an Doman Preutz.
At the age of 26, Doman Preutz. Another success for the world champion, the ski flying world record holder. 254.5 meters, that world record. And Doman is really flying at the moment. So a little more hand luggage to take home. It's very different for the Japanese boys compared to the likes of the Slovenians. The Slovenians can easily get back home for a few days. For the Japanese boys, it's these long, long journeys. And they have to make a decision every single year where they take a break or where they stay. Remembering that after Engelberg, of course, comes Christmas, but then almost immediately the Viessmann and the Four Hills are upon us. Well, it's been another good day at the World Cup. Well managed, well done to the organisation, to the jury. Just the national anthem yet again for Slovenia to recognise Doman's hot streak of achievement. It's really nice to see the whole of the coaching staff there. Just a reminder that although it's the boys who go up the hill and come off the table, it's a really big team effort with servicemen, physios, coaches. But at the end of the day, it comes down to these three men who are center stage today. I hope you've enjoyed our visit to Klingenthal here on FIS TV. Our best wishes for you for the coming days. And we look forward to your company next weekend in Engelberg. Now, just a reminder, of course, the women, Nina Lucy, my colleague and former ski jumper, of course, Nina Lucy, will be hosting the women's competitions. I'll have my eye on the men. We're also, after the World Cup, going to try and bring you the Continental Cup competitions from Engelberg. So plenty to look forward to on FIS TV. For now, though, from myself, David Goldstrom, and the team, thank you for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye from Germany.